Caitlin Clark is going to miss tonight's game, and she's got a groin injury. I have been banging the drum online and on here for the last 2 weeks saying there's something wrong with her legs. There's something going on. Is it the nagging quad injury? But it's something to do with the lower half of her body. It is a groin injury. Now we've got an idea of why she's struggling from long range, where it requires, some real...
The WNBA is facing a crisis, and it all comes down to one name: Caitlin Clark. The league's biggest star sidelined again. Viewership dropping. Fans furious. And now serious questions are being asked. Is this just bad luck? Or is something deeper going on behind the scenes? Because what you're about to see might change how you look at the WNBA forever.
And that is the news that Caitlin Clark is out with a groin injury. Now, if you guys have been watching the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark play over the past 3 games, it is very clear that Caitlin Clark is not feeling like Caitlin Clark. She has only made 1 3-pointer in her last 3 games, and even just last game, she only had 6 points. But it wasn't only her performance on the court that was worrying fans, it was also just her demeanor, her energy. It felt like something was wrong. She wasn't hyping up the crowd like she normally does.
It started quietly. A subtle dip in performance. Missed shots. Slower movement. Then suddenly, confirmation. Caitlin Clark ruled out with a groin injury. This isn't her first setback this season. Earlier, it was a quad issue. Now, a groin strain. And fans had already noticed something was off.
Caitlin Clark is out again with an injury, which is the worst thing you can hear if you're a fan of the Indiana Fever, and really if you're a fan of the WNBA, because obviously Clark is the engine that makes the Indiana Fever go and is the single biggest driver of interest in the WNBA, and it's not close. And anytime somebody is out of the lineup, you get concerned, especially when it's Clark, obviously, considering she had already been injured earlier this year and is now out with what is being dubbed a left groin issue.
Over her last few games, Caitlin Clark didn't look like herself. Her signature deep threes falling short, her energy fading. Even her demeanor changed. Less celebration, less intensity. Fans weren't just worried, they were convinced she was playing through pain.
Caitlin Clark out yet again with a left groin injury. Caitlin Clark will be missing tonight's game versus the Los Angeles Sparks. The venue will be open. Out with a left groin injury. We go from a quad to a quad to a groin.
But here's where things get controversial, because many fans believe this isn't just about injury. It's about how Caitlin Clark is being treated on the court. Game after game, heavy contact, hard screens, aggressive defense, and, according to critics, not enough fouls being called.
The Indiana Fever just lost a really tough game against the Los Angeles Sparks, and it comes back to the 4 things the Indiana Fever always have trouble with: missed layups, missed free throws, interior defense, and rebounding. That is why the Indiana Fever lost this game, and that's why they cannot be a championship team, in my opinion. You have to be able to get stops. You have to be able to rebound the basketball when you do force stops, but there was some positives in this game as well that we have to get into. Kelsey Mitchell was spectacular. I love to see her furthermore breaking her shooting slump. She had 20 points today on 44% shooting from the 3-point line, so you like to see her have 3 back-to-back games in a row where she's having over 20 points. She's totally in her groove.
Fans are not staying quiet. Across social media, outrage is growing. Many believe the league is failing to protect its biggest star, because Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's the face of the WNBA's new era. And yet, there's been no major response from the league.
Her pregame routine, she was doing some things differently. Some fans also noticed that she had her upper left leg taped during a couple of those games. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things pointing to the fact that something wasn't right. And I have to be totally honest with you guys, I'm not surprised by this news at all. I was just having a conversation with my fiance last night, and I told him, I was like, I think Caitlin's hurt. I'm not going to be surprised if sometime soon the Indiana Fever pulls her. And and sits her for a few games. I think she is still battling some sort of injury. And less than 12 hours later, the news dropped from the Fever. But it's a tough blow not only to Caitlin because we know that she loves to be on the court. It's a tough blow for the Indiana Fever because that is their superstar. Whether she is playing to the best of her abilities or not, they are still a better team with her on the court.
Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White addressed the injury day to day. But for fans, that's not enough reassurance. Because every game without Clark feels like the league losing momentum.
Dealing with an injury, not looking like herself, the game is already out of hand, yet we still put her back in with 45 seconds left. How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing. To everybody that said Caitlin Clark didn't look like herself, salute to you. For everybody that said Caitlin Clark might be going through something, salute to you. Clearly, you all saw what that person that stands there like this can't see.
Let's talk about impact. Since Caitlin Clark entered the league, ticket sales skyrocketed, TV ratings surged, arenas sold out. She didn't just join the WNBA, she transformed it. And now, without her, everything starts to dip.
Do look at it. And you take a look at the injury. Stephanie White spoke about it. So let me give you the latest. This all just came out. So this is all as I speak, basically. Tony East, shout out to him. This is the video of Stephanie White discussing the Caitlin Clark injury.
With Caitlin, when did you guys find out about this groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our strength and conditioning and our physical, our AT staff do what they do best. But yeah, I found out late last night, and then we'll treat it day to day.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. The WNBA has become heavily dependent on Caitlin Clark. When she plays, people watch. When she's out, interest drops. That's not just a problem. That's a crisis.
Cat is out the bag, dog, for Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. It's being reported that she has suffered a left groin injury and she is out. Now, we all knew Caitlin Clark's health was a major issue. She has simply been playing some of the worst basketball of her career, and a lot of people, even myself, has been pretty vocal about Caitlin Clark and this shooting slump. A lot of people was blaming it on the front office. That's why I didn't even go down that line and produce content blaming it on the front office. There had to have been a reason why Caitlin simply wasn't Caitlin, and I told y'all, sources was telling me that something was bothering her.
Critics are now pointing fingers at the league itself, saying the WNBA has relied too much on one star, instead of building the entire brand. Others question the Fever's decisions. Why wasn't she rested earlier? Why play through visible pain?
So Caitlin Clark is out, y'all. She's injured. We don't know what it is. I think they said it's a groin or some shit like that. But guess what? It's not the end of the world, y'all. Only reason the WNBA will suffer is because they don't know how to market their game. Because they rely on being a one-trick pony. That's just like if you're a content creator and I make one viral video, but after I go viral, I stop making videos. That's the problem with the WNBA. They don't know how to make their league popular. They don't know how to celebrate their league and their players. See, Caitlin brought everybody to the WNBA because she has a rare skill that nobody in the WNBA has.
Now the big question, how long will Caitlin Clark be out? And more importantly, what happens to the WNBA if she isn't there? Upcoming events like the All-Star Game suddenly feel uncertain.
Can we stop treating Caitlin Clark like she's some type of villain? The hate that she gets from the other players in the WNBA is unmatched, and I don't understand it. All she's trying to do is put the WNBA on the map and raise it to another level, which is all she has done since she's gotten into the league. Ticket sales are through the roof. Sold out arenas because of Caitlin Clark. The ratings are through the roof. You've got more eyes and more people watching the WNBA now more than ever because of Caitlin Clark. And y'all steadily want to speak bad on her name. Y'all want to flagrant foul, trying to fight her, mess her up in the games. Not regular basketball fouls. These are blatant, flagrant fouls trying to hurt this girl.
Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the engine, the spotlight, the future of the league. But even superstars are human. And if the WNBA wants to grow, it has to protect the very player who brought the world watching. Because without Caitlin Clark, this isn't just an injury story. It's a warning.
Now we finally know what it is, and it is a groin injury. Guys, I don't know what the situation is, what the hell they doing in practice, but we do know Caitlin Clark is being defended pretty aggressively throughout this season. These WNBA women is not taking any breaks with Caitlin Clark, and it's starting to get disturbing. I just did a video yesterday showing you guys the referees not calling certain fouls, allowing Caitlin Clark to constantly get hacked up and down the court. This is sad, man, and I'm hoping she get a speedy recovery. Maybe she sit out a game or two. But guys, we got the Commissioner Cup coming up. We got the All-Star game coming up. This is the second damn injury Caitlin Clark has suffered this season.
What do you think? Is the WNBA failing Caitlin Clark? Or is this just part of the game? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more deep dive sports stories like this, subscribe now because this story is far from over.
Honestly, it's just a matter of they're playing on the road versus at home right now. They're very good at Cambridge. Caitlin Clark is very good at Cambridge, shooting about 45% on her three-pointers at home versus, I think, 6% on the road. It's been a very bad shooting season for Caitlin Clark away from home. They need their offense to travel, and it has not. So it's a point of concern if the Fever can't figure out how to turn this around, especially because they're a little bit shorthanded too. You know, they're missing Damaris Stantis for the AmeriCup, so they're a little thinner than you might have expected for a team that supposedly added up so much depth during the offseason. They're smaller. They're not rebounding the ball particularly well. And it looks great when like the crowd's behind them and the momentum is going at home. And then the minute some adversity hits, like there's just a lack of punch